Baruch atah Yahuwah Eloheinu melech haolam. Praise Yahuwah. Thank you for joining us at EaglesHavenMinistry.com, HaRuachEliyahu channel on YouTube, and EliyahuChannel.com on YouTube. Thank you for joining us this Shabbat. If it is your Shabbat, or if you're watching this or listening to it, sharing with others in your time frame of Shabbat during the feast that you celebrate according to your calendar, if it is the new calendar or whatever calendar you use, we as Mishpocha of the house of Israel all come together in Shalom. Regardless, we praise Yahuwah, and we're celebrating this Bereshit, Vayigash, and come near, which was recorded already earlier and posted of Bereshit, but with the book of Yashar. But I saved this part of Ezekiel of chapter 37 because I wanted to do it live this morning with my brother Eliyahu so we can share it together with you together, because this is a powerful HafTarah of this Bereshit Vayigash. And just remember now, we are guarding the Torah. We are guarding the Torah. We are guardians and guarding the Torah with a strong arm of blushing conscience and the revered reverence of conviction of Yahuwah. Hallelujah. And as we're guarding the Torah, we only communicate. We try our best at learning the correct words and removing all the pagan words of the Catholic theologies. Of these words you see on the screen, we don't use these words no more, not even blessed, blessing, which is blood, and blodosin, which are pagan Catholic words of the sign of the cross and a blood ritual of ancient Germany. We don't use these Catholic Latin words. And if you're rabbinical watching us, and you're messianic watching us, of any form, or Nazir, we want you to come out, my people, from using these Catholic Latin words. We're not just coming out partially, we're coming out all the way, coming out from among them because of using the harlot daughter Circe Church's Latin Catholic words that are still used among rabbinical Hasidic, and they say it, talk in English, and they'll use Catholic words, don't even realize it, not even checking themselves. And also, we express the Katav, Paleo, Shemitic, Ibrit, Shem of Yahuwah, as you see on the screen here. We use that form of phonetic sounds as we presented to you, and we welcome anybody that's coming out and learning. We all came out from using different words of Shem's name, but we use Yahuwah as his Shem. Hallelujah. And so we thank Abba for the opportunity and we just praise Yahuwah for this great opportunity right now. Hallelujah. To come into your homes and fellowship with you. And hi, my name is Eliyahu. And of course you see right there our brother Eliyahu on the screen with his uniform. I have him here. He's back from flying around and he's home. Say hi to the people, brother.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm glad to be a part of today's message, brother. This is really significant. This part of the Torah, or of the writings of our forefathers of the Nabi, is very powerful because it speaks about the days, especially what we're about to read right now. It speaks about the days that we're in, and talks about the dry bones. And how the flesh was put upon them and the breath of life is put into them. It's kind of like from us coming out of from Christianity or Catholicism or whatever other religious set of rules that man put down for us to follow. We're coming out of that and into the true belief of the Elohim that has a name, and his name is Yahuwah. And so, and it's a refreshing, it's a new life. The life is being, the life of the breath of the Ruach is being put back in to his people Israel. So this is a very exciting message today, and I'm honored to be a part of it, brother.
Praise Yah, hallelujah. And it's good to see you again. It's been a while. We had to be able to come together for Shabbat. Everybody get your tea, get your coffee. I prefer tea. And let's just sit back and enjoy this parashat of HafTarah as we get busy to read and fellowship. This is a very exciting one myself. I used to know a Native American Messianic group called Rain Shadow, and they used to sing this song on this particular parak of chapter 37 of Ezekiel, and it's wonderful to go be able to rehearse it and be brought up again for this parashat of Vayigash to HafTarah. So let's go ahead and go to the scriptures we're about to read from and begin. Is there anything before we start exciting in your tours and what you want to talk about? I know the horrible thing that happened in Florida. They're finding out. They see this guy. He has his clean shave on the top. His beard like ISIS. He even has a cloth around his neck of green and the patterns of almost like Islamic Hezbollah patterns, and they're trying to deny the fact that he was radicalized, but it seems like he could have been one of those what they call that?
I just want to say
people that have been controlled by the government, because they said that he made statements, right? That somebody in the government's trying to get him to be a part of ISIS, like a spy or something. Who knows?
Right. Sounds like he was being brainwashed or something.
Right.
But nevertheless, I just want to say this to the young Hispanic male men that are out there, because this guy's name was Estefan. What was his last name, brother? He was a Puerto Rican descent, or Cuban, or Mexican, I don't know. But he was Hispanic. And a lot of these young Hispanic men today don't actually know who they are and where they're from. And I would, I would tell the young Hispanic men today not to get caught up in this religion that has reached our shores, which is a religion of man, literally. Whether it's Islam or Muslim or whatever it is,
any sect of Islam,
it's a religion of man. First of all, you need to know who you are, and the majority of you guys, young Hispanic men out there that have been on this side of the world for a long time, is probably because your parents, your grandfathers were running away from the Inquisition back during the days of the Spanish. So you didn't just float here and get here, and you're not full-blooded Native American or whatever, Aztlan or whatever you want to be. No, you're not. Most of you guys out there are a mixture of Spaniards, Portuguese, and even Arabs mixed with
Moroccan.
Moroccan, and y'all are mixed with the natives from here. Okay, and a great majority of you were, even your parents were probably Yehudi that came here during the days of the Inquisition. People didn't come to this land back then. Back then, the kingdoms, the reinos de España, the kingdoms of Spain, there was several of them, were probably the most, or among the most advanced places in the world. That's like being here in the United States. We're not going to go and live in Djibouti, Africa, when we can live here in the United States and have all the comforts. Okay, your ancestors didn't come here just to come on vacation. Okay, they came here out of necessity. Okay, so first of all, you need to have an understanding of who you are. And what we're about to read today, brother, is something like that. The bones are dry. These people are dead. They don't know who they are.
They have no Ruach in them. They have no fish of understanding who they are.
That's why the young men have no understanding of who they are, and they're very easily manipulated into being something that you're not. You are not an Islamic Muslim. Okay, you're something else. As a matter of fact, you're probably more from the house of Yehuda or one of the tribes of Israel than being than being an Arabic Muslim or whatever. And I don't have nothing against them people. I don't have nothing against them. I really don't. It's just that the only question I ask is, why are you coming here to kill us? For what reason? What do you want to be here in the U.S. to kill us for? We don't go to your country.
We don't go to your country.
Right. Right. So what do you want from us?
You got more land than the United States throughout the world. Go to your Islamic countries.
Right. If you're going to come here to better your life, to have a great life with your family, so that your children have education or a chance or whatever for education, and make something else, that's fine. That's great. Everybody who wants that is welcome. But don't come here to try to change my heritage or my kids' minds of who they are, or to infiltrate us so that you can carry out some dastardly deed like a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
So we're not prejudiced against the Muslim. We're prejudiced against the act of terrorism.
Yeah. And you know what, too? Since our ancestors have been in the United States, we not only financed and helped the Civil War, wealthy billionaire Yehudis, but they were mayors, governors. Yehudi were part of the old Wild West with black hats and long black coats and a 6-gun. There's books on the Wranglers and the rebels of the Jewish rebels of the old days. We've been here for 200 to 300 years. And we have been shalom with the government, working together with the nation, fighting beside them for the freedom of people to have in this nation. And we don't go around trying to conquest these other people in their foreign lands. So, but one of the things, too, we need to bring out, if you're a Yehudi, you're Messianic, and you're Latino and Sephardic, when I walk to the airport and go places and I see these Mexicanos and Salvadorians and other people, I can tell if they're young and they can't grow no hair on their face. But so I don't look at them crazy, because there was a time I couldn't shave on my face either, and I just had a little fuzz, right? But I noticed that they're in college and school, and they're mocking and mimicking a fad of shaving their beard like an Islamic ISIS extremist. Shaving the top part of their mustache, trimming it real tight in the bottom. And I've seen a lot of people on the news, they interview, and they're Latinos and Mexicanos, they have no idea what they're doing. It's almost like during the hippie days, brother.
Yeah.
Everybody's putting these little 5-pointed estrellas, stars, on their hippie garments.
Right.
And nobody knew that little estrella, that little star, right, was a symbol of being a homosexual.
Wow.
And people were tattooing it on them. They were putting it on their bottom of their Levi's, their bell bottoms, not knowing, because they would see the popular people doing it, and they didn't know that was the symbol of being homosexual. Right. So if a girl was gayish, she would walk up to another girl and say, "Hi, Mary." "Oh, my name's not Mary," and she would know she's not lesbian. Or if a guy was gay and he had the star on his bottom of his Levi's or in the back of his butt of his pants pocket, right? And they walk up to the guy and say, "Hey, Mary," and he turns around, "We call me Mary, man." And they would know he's not gay, right?
Right.
But for 15 years to the hippie days, till people woke up and start realizing
what was going on.
They were in a fad.
Right.
And that fad was for another people. Right. Like even the gangbangers I used to, in the gang that I was a part of, the Yehudi gang, Jewish gang in West Los Angeles, they used to have a little cut their hair real short and nice, and they had one little type of tied up piece of hair coming down from the right side, hanging down the side, almost like my payot, but it was only one side and it would hang long. And that was meaning they were called the tiny wino gangsters, right? And everybody liked the fad. It started going to American Bandstand and started doing it and braiding their little braid like that, not knowing it was a gang member symbol, right? And people need to realize this and understand it, You don't want to go around looking like this youngster that did this stuff the other day. Right. That's just going to put people looking at you like dressing like a pachuco. Right. If I were to dress like a pachuco, people would look at me like a gangster. You know what I mean? Right. A certain way. And you're putting on that stigma on yourself.
Right.
These are dry bones, brother. This guy is arrested. He got brainwashed some way by government infiltration, or he was radicalized after the military, but he is dry bones.
Right.
And in the book of Yeshayahu also it talks from the north, south, east, and west, call Israel home. And we call Israel home. We call these people home and out of the house of bondage of these temples of Circes and Islamic temples and Hindu temples and Dalai Lama temples and Buddhist temples and Catholic temples and Christian Circes of harlot daughters. We call them out now.
Right.
We call them out, the dry bones. We call them home. We call them out. We ask the Ruach. I feel the Ruach right now. Just tell you this, that the Ruach breath will come on the people and come out. These people, some of these people are our people.
Right.
Some of those Palestinians are our cousins. Some of those people in the Middle East are our Yehudi that have been converted by force of death. Just like the Catholic Church forced our Yehudi through Spain.
The knowledge of the ancestors and the old ways, the old paths have been dead for so long that Yahuwah is calling them dry bones. Yeah. And they don't know who they are. We didn't know who we were, until the Ruach HaKodesh, I believe the Spirit of Yahuwah inside us began to make us yearn for righteousness. Right. And we were drawn back to the Torah, drawn back to our native language of Hebrew, and drawn back to the ancient paths of our ancestors. And so right now the people are dead, the bones are dry, but here's the good thing about it. The good thing about it is that we live in the days of restoration. And what we're about to read is about those dry bones being restored.
Hallelujah. So let's go ahead and begin. And I'm going to do ISR. And I'm going to let you read, because I burnt my throat out yesterday. All right. So I'm going to let you read, and then we'll just let the Ruach, flow and give us a word as we read.
Okay, so Ezekiel chapter 37, verse number 1. It says, the hand of Yahuwah was upon me and took me out by the Spirit of Yahuwah, by the Ruach of Yahuwah, and set me down in the midst of the valley, and it was filled with bones. The representation of the bones are dead people, people that are dead, that don't know their future, they don't know their past, they don't know where they're going, they don't know nothing. Bones cannot do anything. And he made me pass among them all around, and see, they were very many on the surface of the valley, and see, they were very dry.
Been dead a long time.
Right. So the valley, I believe, is a representation of the earth. So they've been on the earth for a long time, these bones have, and they're very dry because they have not known the ancient ways of their forefathers for a very, very long time. And that's where we're at today. Most of the people have no reverence for Yahuwah, nor do they want to call upon his name, nor do they want to revere him or admonish him or anything. They just so the spirit of man that lives within inside of man has become very dry, and they have no knowledge of who they are. So any little new fad or new religion that comes along, guess what? They jump on the bandwagon and they think that that's it, and they have no understanding of who they are.
It's another religious spirit. Because Islam is an offshoot of the promotion of the Catholic Church. They gave 666 pounds of gold to Muhammad to march in Jerusalem and conquer it, so the Pope can work with Islam and sit on the throne in Jerusalem and kick out the Orthodox Catholics at that time that are still in Jerusalem today. Okay, right. And they promoted.
And a lot of them were in Syria, brother.
Yeah,
and a lot of them got butchered by the special forces that were going in there. That Obama sent in there to train these radicals, and they went around murdering Christians, hundreds and thousands of them, all over the place in Syria. But you don't hear nothing about that on the news.
No. It's happening in Africa. It's happening in Syria,
right.
Lebanon, and the borders of Jerusalem. And so we come to that understanding that these dry bones, right, what we're about to read, you got to realize it. You get into another religion, there's a spiritu in those religions. They feel something. Islam, there's imams that perform miracles. They lay hands on the sick. They speak in other tongues. They pray for the people to be delivered from drugs in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and other areas. These imams perform magic. They operate under a charismatic spirit. The same thing in Catholicism, the same thing, charismatic spirit in operating in what we call today in the Christian community, the same charismatic spirit. He don't care what religion you are in, he'll make you very charismatica for it and make you a diehard for it. But there's only one Ruach of Yahuwah that's going to breathe into you and give you Ruach. These dry bones have no Ruach.
Right. And there are other mighty ones, just like what brother was saying. There are other mighty ones. That's why Yahuwah says, a lot of people get confused. Okay, when we say, I've heard them say, well, don't say Elohim because Elohim is plural. No, when we say Elohim, the word Elohim means the Eloah of all the Elohas. Right. The Elohim.
Yeah, we capitalize the letter with the Aleph. We capitalize the Aleph.
Right. So it's like saying, excuse me, so that you'll listen plainly, hear plainly. So because our language is so perverted, I have to say it like this, so that Yahuwah is the what they would say in English, the God of all gods. I don't even want to say it, brother, but
yeah, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So then in the very beginning, when Yahuwah begins to speak in the Word, he talks about that he's the Elohim. Okay, he's the mighty one of all the mighty ones. So there are other ones. He's telling you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
excuse
right.
me. I'm
keep
sorry.
reading. Verse 3.
Okay, verse number 3. And he said to me, Son of man, would these bones live? And I said, O Master Yahuwah, you know. Again he said to me, Naba Nabuah, to these bones, and you shall say to them, O dry bones, hear the word of Yahuwah. And thus said the Master Yahuwah to these bones, see, I am bringing into you a Ruach, a spirit, and you shall live. Okay, so this is like, okay, the bones are dry, and Yahuwah's going to make us to know who we are so that we may live again. Okay, because it's been a long time. It's been so long that he says that the bones are not just dry, they're very dry. Isn't that what we just wrote?
Right.
Yeah. And it says, and thus said the Master Yahuwah to these bones, see, I am bringing into you a Ruach, and you shall live, and I shall put sinews on you. Now, there's a representation for that. The sinews are, how do you say, brother? The muscle, the cartilage.
Cartilage. The fiber.
Right.
The inner being.
Right. And bring flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put a spirit in you, a Ruach in you, and you shall live, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. So this is the place where we have gotten to right now, where we know that Yahuwah lives. We know that Yahuwah exists. We have we put on the garments of righteousness, and we know that Yahuwah lives. Okay, we know that we are being made known inside of our nefesh, who we are. So I have no problem saying to you that I am a Sephardic Yehudi, and that my ancestors came from across the ocean, and they came here during the days of the Inquisition. They were running away from that because they were what they call today Jews. Okay,
right.
And I can tell you that because Yahuwah has made me know who I am, and we want you to know who you are, especially if you're hearing this. No matter where you are, if you're hearing this, there is something inside of you that is agreeing with you and making you to know who you are. And this message is to somebody who's out there that is searching. Well, that's probably what you're searching for. It's within you. Yahuwah's making you to know who you are. And verse number 7, And I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, there was a rattling, and the bones came together, bone to bone. And I looked and saw sinews and flesh came upon them, and skin covered them, but there was no spirit in them.
That's just like they're in these congregations, in these religious groups. There's a lot of noise, a lot of moving around, a lot of nice clothes, and they got talits, and they got their keppas, and they got their garments, but there's no ruach in them. They're trying to come together. The bones are trying to come together. They're trying to come together. They're trying to gather. They're trying to look like they got high, but there's no ruach in them yet.
Yeah, they're making a lot of noise.
Yeah, because they're operating under a different spiritu.
Right.
They still got that Catholic, apostolic, Circe spirit in them, you know? Verse 9.
Verse number 9. And he said to me, prophesy to the spirit, prophesy, son of man, and you shall say to the Ruach, to the spirit, thus said the Master Yahuwah, come from the four winds, O Spirit, and breathe on these killed ones so that they live. So what were you saying about that, brother, about that these the killed ones? What is that representation?
In the Hebrew language, the killed ones in verse 9, it says here, and breathe on these slain. If we were to go to in Hebrew, all right, and look at it, and it's the same word we get like a Holocaust. Dead, destroyed, been killed, been murdered, slaughtered, slaughtering sacrifice. The word Holocaust is Greek, but it's found in the book of Hebrew, in Hebrew, the Hebrews, which means Holocaust. It actually means Holocaust in Greek. And slaughter means like a Holocaust. It's Hebrew number 2026. And it's HaRag, and it means slaughtering, being slaughtered, killed, and destroyed. In the rabbinical Talmud Hasidic, they believe this is a reference that when all the Yehudi died in the Holocaust in Germany, they're coming back to life in Israel. They're being resurrected, but they believe in a different type of reincarnation, which I don't agree with it, all right? They believe in a form of reincarnation, not going into animals and things like that, right? But that the Abba had to transport them into a new understanding and living in Israel, because many of the Yehudi, the Jews in Germany, refused to leave. Let's face it. They've seen the handwriting in the wall and refused to go home to Israel. Okay, it was time to go, and they wouldn't go. They're standing there like bones, and they would not accept even the high of the breath. You know what I mean? So they believe, this is what they believe, that this is a form of reincarnation. They had to die, come back to life, and be born in Jerusalem. And some believe that. Some believe they go through 3 phases, depending on their good and bad deeds. They didn't make teshuvah properly. Some believe 7-fold experiences, some believe in 3-fold. I believe to be absent of the body is to go to sleep and wait for the resurrection of the just, like it's written in the word, waiting for the resurrection of the just. So, but that's the answer to your question.
Okay, well, you know, the 4 winds is actually very
we're reading that even in Hanuk, you know, the 4 messengers and 4 winds.
Right. I mean, and it's symbolic also to the house of Israel, coming from all the
4 corners of the world.
4 corners of the world, you know, and these people are now going to be Yahuwah's putting the Ruach back into them. He's given them life again, and to make them know that he is. And there's a prophecy that says that later on in the future that he's going to make us know that he is our Elohim, that we are his people.
It's in the book of Ezekiel also.
And that he is our Elohim. So this is what's happening. So we live in, there's a very profound era that we live in, we literally live in the days of restoration. The restoration of the house of Israel. The promises that are made in this book, throughout all of these books, are only made to the house of Israel. They're not made to any other house.
It doesn't say, in verse 11, and we're going to get to it, there's only one house they're talking to, all those tribes of Israel.
Right, and okay, so verse number 9.
We read 9 already? Yeah. 10.
Okay, verse number 10. And I prophesied as he commanded me, and the Spirit came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, a very great army. Okay, well, I want to stop every... Let me read through it, but there's a lot there, brother. I want to stop every time and
he nabad, and as he commanded and breathed that.
Right.
It's awesome.
And okay, verse number 11. And he said to me, Son of man, these bones are all the house of Israel.
No, you mean they're not the house of the Baptist?
Right.
The Foursquare? The Assembly? The First Baptist?
Right.
The First, whatever, Presbyterians, you mean? No, brother, they got to be included, right? No, this can't be. It says only Israel here.
That's right. There are no other religious sects of people, no other nations, nothing else is mentioned here. The only ones who are going to be restored back to Yahuwah, that he's going to breathe the Ruach HaKodesh, the breath of life back into them so that they may live again, is the house of Israel. Only the house of Israel. Nobody's going to be restored back to the house of the Catholics, or back to the house of the Muslims, or back to the house of the Buddhists, or anybody else, but only to the house of Israel. This includes, I encourage every Muslim and every Islamic out there to come back to your roots, to your father Abraham, okay, and to his Elohim, not to anybody else's, okay, and be partakers of what Yahuwah has to offer, okay, not death. Yahuwah is not the Elohim of death and destruction. He's an Elohim of life. Okay, he's not the Elohim of cover your wife up and beat her to a pulp and don't let her go nowhere and don't let any other man see her or he might rape her. I mean, what kind of a life are we living here, man? I mean, where you have to cover your wife's face up, or are all these men so vile that you can't let your wife's face be seen for fear that they might rape her? I mean, there's really something wrong with that society.
It's a different spirit.
There's really something wrong with that society. When we have to cover our wives' faces up and so that no other man rapes them, I mean, what kind of who wants to live in that?
Right.
I mean, who wants to live through that? And you got these women running around in the U.S. here now, covering their heads up and everything. You know what I say to all those people? Go over there to an Islamic country. Go and live over there.
Go practice your belief.
I promise
where
you,
they practice
you'll be back here so fast. You'll be back here so fast. You'll never even knew you. Look, you
never knew you left.
Yeah. Look.
You won't even unpack when you get there.
Because when you get over there, they won't allow you to go buy an airplane ticket to come back. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on.
All right. Let's see.
Verse 11.
Verse 11. It says, And he said to me, Son of man, these bones are all the bones of the house of Israel. See, they say, our bones are dry. Our expectancy has perished. Our expectation, our hope, our esperanza, okay, is gone. And we ourselves have been cut off. Why? Because there's no more expectation. Expectation of what? Expectation of living, of the Ruach HaKodesh. We don't know who we are, where we came from, or where we're going. Therefore prophesy, and you shall say to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, O my people, my people, I am opening your burial sites, and shall bring you up from your burial sites, and shall bring you into the land of Mexico. Oh, that didn't say that. Into the land of Germany, Oh, into the land of the USA. Oh, into the land of Saudi Arabia. Oh, into the land of Iran. No, it doesn't say that. It says, and I shall bring you into the land of Israel.
That's right.
Okay?
Hallelujah.
The promises are to the house of Israel. And if you want to be a part of it, you must be grafted in. That's why the Mashiach came as the suffering lamb to make atonement for you, to open up the way, to loosen the shackles to all those who are bound to sin and who are going into destruction, so that we may have a chance to enter into the house of Israel, not anywhere else.
That's right. I even went to see a woman that was an Islamic woman before, while she was in Mecca and she was praying in the area with their women doing pilgrimage. She heard an audible voice speak to her, "Get up and leave this place. I am not this Elohim." He said to her, "I am the Elohim of Israel. Get out of here now. Your ancestors are Yehudi." And she was black and she left. But it took her months to flee because her husband was Islamic. She was Islamic at the time, and she had to figure out a way to get to the United States through Canada. It was a powerful testimony. I went to see her at a hotel, speaking at a conference hall, where Abba audibly spoke to her, "Get up and leave this place. You are praying to the wrong one." And see, many of my brothers are not only held captive in the Catholicism and Christianity and all offshoot daughter harlots of the Catholicism, of the Protestant movement, as well as in the different sects, the 5 different sects of Islam. There's sects of Islam in Afghanistan that call themselves the sons of Moshe, and they still keep the 10 commandments. Okay, but they're Islamic, but they keep it. Nobody messes with them. Hezbollah don't mess with them. Nobody messes with them because they're tougher than everybody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're everywhere trapped. This young man was dry bones and didn't know who he was. And we coming to you now and speaking into your Ruach. If you're hearing this for the first time and you got this far in the last 30 minutes in this message, we're telling you, come out from that religious spirit and let the Ruach HaKadosh breathe into you high so you can come home to the house of Israel. United States and Christianity did not replace Israel. All right? Christianity did not replace the house of Israel and all the houses and all the different clans and tribes of Yehudi. All right? So come to your senses on that. Verse 14, brother.
Verse 14 is very powerful. Verse 14 says something that a lot of people don't want to hear. It says, "And I shall put my spirit into you." Of course, we all want to hear that. We all want to hear that. "And you shall live." And we want to live too. We all want to hear that. "And I shall settle you in your own land." Ooh.
You mean you get your own? You mean I belong somewhere?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. "And you shall know it." How are you going to know it? "That I, Yahuwah, have spoken." How are you going to know? "And I have done it."
Declares
Yahuwah. How are you going to know? Well, the verse right before that said, "And I shall settle you in your own land." What does that mean? Where's that land at?
It's Israel.
It's Israel.
And every clan and tribe has an order of where their land is, their inheritance.
Now, brother, I read this in Hebrew one time. I was reading it and I was looking at all the words and reading it. And when you read it in Hebrew, it makes you know that the way that you're going to know is because you're going to be back in the land of Israel. Right. Okay, and that's why he says, up in verse 12, he says, "My people, I am opening your burial sites, and you shall go up from your burial sites." Okay, now where are these burial sites? They're all around the world. They're everywhere. They're in other lands where our ancestors have died, "and shall bring you into the land of Israel." With inside of you lives your ancestors. And that's how we're all coming home. If I die from here, before I get to the land of Israel, then my grandsons or granddaughters, my DNA will wind up in the land of Israel.
That's right, your inheritance.
Yeah, sometime my DNA is going to wind up back in the land of Israel. Now, my goal is to go back home. And my wife and I are talking about getting a house. We're talking about all this different stuff, but we're also talking about going back to Israel. So we have like this deal where we're trying to figure out where we're going to go to, but it's plain to see right here that Yahuwah has woken us up.
He's declaring it.
Yeah,
He's making a proclamation to all over the world.
Right.
His wind, the four winds, his Ruach.
Right. So for all of you that are Yehudi out there and that you know that you're Yehudi and you're going, well, where shall we go? Are we to go back home? Yeah, you're to go back to Israel. It says it right here. It says it plainly says, my people, I am opening up your burial sites, and shall bring you up from your burial sites, and shall bring you into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah when I open your burial sites. When your DNA, my people, and bring you up from your burial sites, and I shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live, and I shall settle you in your own land. That land is the land of Israel. And you shall know that I have spoken to you, and I have done it, declares Yahuwah. Okay, so I can't. When I read this in Hebrew, it's pretty simple. When you get to the very end, you know that it's because the way that you know is because you're back in the land of Israel.
Right, verse 15.
Verse 15, and the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, and you, son of man, take a stick for yourself and write on it for Yehudah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write on it for Yosef, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. Brother, you have some insight to that?
Yeah, this is the joining in of Ephraim from the house of Yosef. That's why this parashat is in here on HafTarah, because it's lining up with Bereshit, chapter 44 through 47 of Yosef being joined together with his brothers and Yaakov in Mitzrayim, and then a great multitude is born, and a lot of them are mingled too with Mitzrayim, the Mizrahites, and a great company leaves Egypt eventually to go back home to the land of Canaan, and Yosef has a son, Ephraim, for all the house of Israel, his companions, all the brothers. So Yehudah, and for the children of Israel, write on him, his companion. Then take another stick. So there's two sticks. Each stick, one stick is Yehudah in Israel, the other one is Ephraim, Manasseh, and all his companions. That means all the ones that are being grafted in, that are scattered throughout the world.
Right.
Okay? Then the two sticks will come together and be one, as we're going to read in verse 17.
Right, and everybody's being, all of these different houses that brother's talking about are all being woken. They're being restored. I was going to say woken up.
Right.
That's what that means.
That's what happened to us. We woke up.
We woke up. They're being restored. So, now, do I know, do we know each one of us, if we're in the house of Ephraim, or the house of Yosef, the house of Yehudah, the house of Israel? Well, I would guess that we're all part of Israel.
Right, we know that.
We know that. but we don't know, we may not know exactly which house we're from, which tribe, but we are from the house of Israel. It says, okay, verse number 17, then bring them together for yourself into one stick. So all these people that are coming in from the four winds, that their DNA has been woken up, that he has pulled them out of the burial sites, breathed the breath of life into them, put them back into the house, put them back into the land of Israel. Now he's taking them and making them one people. And verse number 17 says, then bring them together for yourself into one stick, and they become one in your hand. And when the children of your people speak to you, saying, won't you show us what you mean by these? Say to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am taking the stick of Yosef, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his companions, and I shall give them unto him with the stick of Yehuda, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand.
Whose hand? Yahuwah's hand.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Yosef, I believe, was the representation of the Mashiach. Really, he really was.
He was a savior to the world at that time.
Right. If it wasn't for him, Israel would have perished. Remember that they were going through a famine, and in the second year of that famine, they were dying, man. That's why he sent them down there to Mitzrayim to try to buy substance for them to survive. And at that time, they saw that Yosef was alive, and Yosef brings them to Goshen and saves them. Literally saves them, brother, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they were to multiply. It made them breed into millions.
Right, exactly. And the sticks and the sticks on which you write shall be in your hand before their eyes. So Yosef is the representation of Mashiach here. Okay, and in his hand, through him, the Yahuwah is going to bring back the house of Israel. Right. All of those who have gone out of covenant, that want to come back into covenant, that have it within them, that Yahuwah has put the breath of life in them in order to make them understand who they are. And okay, verse number 21. Verse number
21, you're right.
21. And speak to them, thus said the master, see, I am taking the children of Israel from among the nations.
The Goy, the Garim.
Wherever they have gone, that's right. And shall gather them from all around, and I shall bring them into their land.
Now listen, people. See, as you look up here, he says, the nations, right? Among the nations. In some translations, they'll say gentilis. It's a Catholic Latin female organ part of a woman's body. The Catholic Church and the Rabbinical Hasidic in 1300 agreed to use that word and say, you keep your gentilises and we'll keep our Jews, and we won't try to convert yours and you don't convert ours. And they separated each other by that. But in the time of Ezekiel, it was either Goyim, or Gar and Garim, the sojourners, aliens that are foreign but belong to the house, and they're coming back. So you are not Gentiles. When I hear Messianics say, we're Gentiles, they're Jews, stop it. You're either grafted in or you're not.
Right.
If you're not grafted in, get out of the house.
There is nowhere.
If you're grafted in, you're not no more a Catholic Gentilis.
That's right. There's nowhere in the word does it say, where Jews and Gentiles come together.
No.
That is not in the word, okay? So for you, when you're at your Messianic meeting and there's other Yehudis there, and they're telling you that you're a Jew, that you're a Gentile, well then you need to tell them, I've been grafted in, brother.
That's
I'm
right.
no longer out of covenant. I'm in the covenant.
That's right.
So we Yah told the Israelites, do not mix with those people that are out of covenant. Do not give your daughters and your sons to them. Don't do it. Remember that? So why? Because they were not part of the covenant. Okay? So you cannot, there is no such thing as where Jews and Gentiles come together. I hear that a lot of Messianic.
Right. Or what about that program, Jewish Jesus? Come on. It's either Yahushua, Yehudi,
right,
or it's Jesus, Catholic, Greek.
Right, that's totally a contradiction in terms. You can't have a Jewish Jesus, the son of Zeus. You can't have the son of Zeus
Jewish.
Be Jewish, okay?
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But as you see here, he says, I am taking the children of Israel from among the Goy, wherefore they have gone, and shall gather them from all around the world. Right? All around the Olam, and I shall bring them into their land.
Right. Where is their land at?
Israel.
Okay.
And they have an inheritance per tribe.
That's
and
right.
Abba's going to sort it out. Our GPS is just getting us to Israel. Once we get there, he's going to sort us out.
That's right. We're gonna. I guarantee you, we're learning very fast. who we are. And I would venture to guess within the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to know exactly who we are.
That's right.
We're going to know what tribe. We're going to know it.
Right.
Yahuwah, you know how come I know? Because Yahuwah said so.
That's right.
Because he's saying that he's going to make us to live again, to know who we are. Okay? And I shall make them one nation. Verse number 22. And I shall make them one nation in the land, one people, and all the mountains of Israel, and one sovereign shall be sovereign over them all. And let them no longer be two nations, and let them no longer be divided into two reigns. Okay? And they shall no longer defile themselves with their idols, nor with the disgusting matters. Excuse me.
All right.
Nor with any of their transgressions. And I shall save them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned, and I shall cleanse them, and they shall be my people, and
Let's
I
look
shall
at that.
be their Elohim.
Hallelujah. This is so awesome. He
Yeah,
says
it is.
they shall no longer defile themselves
Right?
with idols. Okay?
Right.
Nor with their disgusting things, matters, which is all the prayers to the Santos or Hindus or Buddhists.
The
or-
disgusting
or
matters
is-
of worshiping and honoring Yahuwah on the day of the winter solstice,
Right.
Christmas day.
worshiping
That's
Mithra,
disgusting
sun
to him.
worship.
All right.
Nor with any of their transgressions, and I shall save them from all their, what does he say? Save them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned. We have been dwelling in the United States, Babylon, Egypt, all over the world, Mexico, come on now, Europe,
Yeah.
in these dwelling places which we have sinned. And he will cleanse us and bring us home and bring us out and call us his people.
Right.
This is an honor for
Yes,
him
it
to
is.
call us out. So you can't come with your own agenda and your own list. Well, I'm still going to be a Christian and mix.
Right.
That word does not exist. Even in your Brit Kadasha, it does not exist. All right? That's a made-up word. Christianos. It comes from Christi only. That's one little word in Greek. All right? They morphed it into Christianos. All right? So, and you must understand that he is calling us out. He's an honor. When he's calling you out, that means you come as you are and be what you're supposed to be in him. And he would put a new robe and a new attire on you, a new speech, a new tongue, a new everything, and change you in his land. Because he's like a father. In his house, you're going to obey him in his house. You can have all the luxury, all the better quota food, all the great things. But in his house, you're going to be up the right rule.
Look, here's the truth of it. Here's the truth of the matter, is that men are inherently wicked. We are. Because the word says it.
Right.
Yahuwah literally says in Jeremiah 17:9, which I like to quote a lot, that the heart of man is deceitful. And the heart of man, above all, is deceitful and exceedingly wicked. Okay? So, Yahuwah needs to put His Ruach into us. Okay? When He breathes the breath of life into us to make us know who we are, and that we call Him, that He calls us His people, and we call Him our Elohim, is because He has put that within us. Okay? Man, because us on our own do not have the power to defeat sin and to defeat the unclean things that we've been practicing. That's why Yahuwah knew this. He knew this from the very beginning. And that's why we have an atonement. Okay? And without that atonement, we ourselves cannot be grafted in to the house of Israel on our own. There is no way to do that. No matter how good of a person you are, okay, no matter if you're the best person in the world, you can't do it. Okay, you're not totally kadosh. Only Yahuwah can make us to be like that.
As we read in 24 now,
It says, while David, my servant, is sovereign over them. Okay, we just finished reading, and they shall be my people, and I shall be their Elohim, while the root of David, which is Yahushua, my servant, is sovereign over them. Okay, So this is a sovereign who's going to be over us.
You're either going to have, you in Israel, I always say, sovereign Melech David, not Obama, not the Clinton, not Trump, not any president of the United States. We want sovereign of the root of David in Israel. We don't want no other sovereign of the Goy to rule over Israel. We must come to that understanding, because when the sovereign is ruling in Israel, according to the Levitical or Vayigash Torah right rule, that sovereign is supposed to write his own Torah the first few years of his rule. He's supposed to copy and write his own Torah scroll.
That's right.
That's according to Torah. He's supposed to write his own Torah scroll so he can have it written in his heart. Because when you write something, something happens. It's written in your heart. You memorize better.
I wonder if Netanyahu has written his Torah scroll.
I wonder if he did.
Yeah, I wonder if Trump is going to do that. Trump, are you going to write a Torah scroll if you're listening to this?
Are you listening to this? Because that's the rule of Vayigash for every sovereign of Israel.
I can almost tell you 100% that Obama did not write any kind of scroll whatsoever, let alone a Torah scroll.
No. You got to fake it to make it scroll.
Yeah, he got to fake it. He got a fake it birth certificate scroll. That's what he got. The only scroll he's got is that fake birth certificate.
And the Social Security too now is coming up.
Yeah, and it's a fake Social Security number. We know who you are. We know you ain't real. Anyways, okay, verse number 25. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given to Yaakov, my servant where your fathers dwelt. So he's being specific about where they're going to dwell at. I mean, this is very important. It's very important that his people dwell in the land of Israel. Okay? And they shall dwell in it, and their children and their children's children forever, and my servant David be their prince forever.
And see, this is how you know. If you hear the name of Yahuwah, and it resonates, it quickens inside you. If you hear Ruach HaKodesh, you hear Yahushua of Zechariah chapter 6, a Savior, a kinsman, redeemer, deliverer, okay? And you hear Israel. A lot of people go to Israel and they walk the streets. It's just another third world country tourist fun time. But for other people, something happens. It resonates inside them. They get quickened. They say, I don't know what it is. I belong here. I like it here. I don't want to leave. There's something about this place. Like I belong here. Because in your loins is the DNA of the house of Israel. Now, if you don't feel that, your goy belongs somewhere else. Right. And if you're there and you say, I want to go to the tomb of my forefathers, I want to go to the tomb of Abraham, Ishak, Yaakov, I want to go to Rebekah's tomb, I want to go to Yosef's tomb, I want to visit the tomb of my forefathers. Well, a son visits their father's gravesite.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's and if you don't have that in you, you better just go back to Christianity, Islam, or any other religion, all right? And stay away. Because if you get quickened, once you get quickened to know who you are, you want to make your pilgrimage to Israel and also the tomb of our forefathers. And I speak that to somebody that's listening now. That is a part of our pilgrimage. In Islam, they put a white type of hat on, and that's their pilgrimage to Mecca. Once they come back from Mecca, they can put a different color. For us, it's different. We don't wear kippas, the type of kippas that they wear for different colors and reasons. We wear it for a covering of the, knowing that we're under the covering of the Torah. All right, so I speak that to somebody that's listening to understand that. And if you're Messianic and you're in a congregation and they have no desire to go to Israel, they're playing around with Christianity and they're going around these tourism with Christianity in Israel, and they don't want to go to the tombs and they don't really want to stay or have a gravitational pull, a magnetic pull to stay there, all right, then they are not really Israel.
That's right.
Verse 27.
Verse 27, brother. And my dwelling place shall be over them, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And the nations shall know that I, Yahuwah, am setting Israel apart, when my set apart place is in their midst forever. Hallelujah.
And it starts within us, brother.
That's
the Kodesh place. The
That's
right rule. The Torah.
That's right, brother.
Guarding Torah.
Yeah. That's right. You know, all of these things, you know, there's another thing that I was reading early this morning, I was reading the book of Exodus. Okay, and in Exodus, Moshe and Yahuwah are having a conversation, and it comes up that one of the signs of the covenant, or the sign, there's one of the commands is a sign of the covenant forever, and it says it forever. I can't quote you the scripture,
right,
but it's the Shabbat.
Right.
It says that the Shabbat is the sign of the covenant forever. So you know also when you have the desire to do the Shabbat, and the Shabbat can mean the Shabbat like this week. It can mean the feast also.
Right.
You know, we have high Sabbaths that are that during the feast. So if your heart desires to do these things, that's because that's your DNA calling unto you to come back.
To be obedient.
Yeah, to be obedient.
Look, in verse 24, all right, to highlight a little bit, and they shall all have one shepherd and walk in my what? Right ruling.
And guard my laws. Guard my Torah.
And then guard the Torah. And the third?
Do them. To do them.
So you practice what you preach. Practice
right.
what you learn. Practice what you desire to serve.
Right.
It's a willing offering.
So by you walking in the right rulings, that becomes a way of life.
Right.
That's every day.
And it's a free, willing, loving offering. Nobody's cracking a whip in the morning saying, follow Torah, obey or die. Nobody's doing that to me. I willingly, obediently, lovingly want to. I want to follow the right ruling. I want to obey the instructions. I willingly to. It is the right ruling. All right? When I go into a place and I choose something to eat, my mouth does not crave for pork chops.
Right.
Right. It craves for lamb chops and goat and palapas.
Hey, lamb chops are really good.
Yeah, they are. And even lamb. One friend of mine went to a kosher restaurant in Beverly Hills, and he said they serve lamb bacon and lamb. They don't even want to call it bacon, but it's like a bacon lamb and bacon goat, right? And it's more juicy and better with your eggs in the morning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And see, I crave for vegetables now. I crave for other things now because my body has, in my age, has been abused from all the drugs and alcohol and wrong foods. So now I crave for only one right ruling. Because if I want to have high and have it more abundantly and long lasting,
you have to keep the guard. You have to guard the laws.
I got to guard the law, even the law of food, as well as the law of other laws in the Torah, the right ruling, the prescribed instruction.
Right.
I like that. When you read the definition of commandments, prescribed instruction. I get my prescription and instruction in the Torah how to live. I want to learn every day something new. It's not somebody forcing me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
It's a willing offering.
Right, it's a free will.
And so, in verse, as you read in Vayigash 28, and the nations, the Goyim, the Garim, the Gar, shall know that I, Yahuwah, am setting Israel apart when my Kodesh place is in their midst forever.
And what does that mean? That means that when we become the temple of Yahuwah.
Right. People see that. People see that.
Yeah.
This is before a physical place. This is a spiritual place. People see the difference in our look, our talk, our conversation, our mishpocha, our family, the anishim people around our mishpocha. They see us different. They look at us at a distance. Then pretty soon they want to ask questions.
Right.
They're going to watch us for 2 or 3 years. They're going to watch you to see if you're going to keep the right rule and don't slip and fall. Right? Because if you do, they're going to say, oh man, you might as well just come back over here to the Cersei and come on and hang out with the little J-man, the baby J-man, this little pagan idol. in a manger, and you're going to go ahead and they're going to tempt you like that. So you got to walk Kodesh and enjoy it. Fall in love with Torah. Fall in love with the right rule. Fall in love with the prescribed instruction.
People know because, you can be at work and some people are talking, and then somebody will say, hey, man, don't talk like that. Al's right there.
Yeah.
Or don't say that. That's not, don't do that or whatever, or because he's right there. He's standing right there, or he's listening, or don't talk to him like that. He doesn't talk like that. People say stuff like that because they already know what you stand for.
Right.
And they can see that you're kadosh. So the ones who know that already are kind of they'll get embarrassed whenever they say something that they shouldn't say, and I'm standing right there and I'm looking at them, and they'll be like ashamed that they said what they said.
We brought blushing conscience to it. Because see, when we live in it inside and outwardly, we become a walking, talking, living Torah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
The right rule is all over. It's like a judge. If you had a judge living next door to your apartment, or the chief of police, you're not going to go around making noise, shooting, having your biker friends throwing beer cans in the grass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know better than to do that.
You know better do that, right? You're going to say, oh man, there's a cop that lives across the street. Chill out, dude. The judge of the town lives right there.
Yeah.
Chill out. Be cool, man.
Yeah.
And so when we're walking in Torah and we're rocking in right rule, is this people, we are a light. As the prayer says, we are a light to the nations of the Olam,
right,
all around us.
That's right. That's right. So there's a blushing conscience that people have when they try to when they get into worldly things,
right,
and they're around us.
So thank you for joining us. We appreciate you so much. And we want to say a prayer with you right now. But before we do, I just want to present to you, you can go to Eagles Haven Ministry at yahoo.com. And you'll see it on the screen. And you can write me and give me your full name and address if you want a hard copy of the correction of the Catholic replacement theology belief system that's in the harlot daughter Protestantos in the religion of Christianity in this nations of the world. And the corrections of the words, clean English words, and also Hebrew words. And you can, if you want to have it in a PDF file, I will be glad to send it to you in a PDF file. Or you can go to my address here, or my eagleshavenministry.com, as you see on the bottom, and you can go ahead and go there and look on the lower left of the front, right of the front page, and you will see a PDF. Most of the PDF files I will send you will be there, and you can click them yourself. And if you have trouble clicking them, let me know and I'll repair it, because I rarely go into Eagles Haven file anymore, because we're operating on Eagles Haven Ministry, EliyahuChannel.com. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you so much. And we speak it into the air like Ezekiel. When he told Ezekiel to Nabuah and Naba, they say prophesy. We today speak into the air to the north, to the south, and to the east, and to the west, that the breath of the Ruach of Yahuwah will come in the dry bones of the house of all the clans and tribes of Israel, scattered throughout around me in Plano, Texas, in Frisco, in Dallas, in San Antonio, in all areas of Austin, in every area of California, Great Britain, Canada, Africa, even also the places, the Middle East. We speak the breath of Yahuwah, that the dry bones will live, and the Yahuwah will bring their sinews and their flesh and their blood and their dam back into their bloodstream, and their heart to start pumping for Yahuwah. We speak right now that Nefesh and the Lab of people will come forth in the Shem of Yeshua and rise up and be quickened and have dreams, visions, revelation of the name of the Shem of Yahuwah and the Shem of Yahushua, and Torah and right rule and the Shabbat right rule will come upon them. We speak that out right now, and the anointing of the Ruach to go forth from our lips into the waves and the frequencies of YouTube, and every time it's played will go forth in your community in the Shem of Yeshua. Blow the shofar and start speaking that the Ruach will breathe upon the dry bones to come back to Lahai in the Shem of Yeshua.
Hallelujah.
Amen and amen and amen. Thank you for being with me, brother, and joining in. We appreciate you.
You're welcome, brother. Thank you for having me.
And appreciate everybody for tuning in. Amen and amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.